breaking news for you. Two breaking news. Firstly, Jeffrey Feltman, US envoy to the Horn of Africa, is due to travel to the United Arab Emirates and Turkey tomorrow. We have a video clip which is a statement from US State Department about Jeffrey Feltman's visit of Turkey, the UAE, and Egypt in coming days. Why is Feltman visiting the three countries? We have been informing you about arms deliveries to Ethiopian government from the UAE, from Turkey and Iran. Obviously, now it seems that the US is stepping in to stop the flow of arms from these countries to Ethiopia. We have reported about dozens of cargo flights between the UAE and Ethiopia, Turkey and Ethiopia, and some from Iran for Ethiopia as well. And one of the main reasons behind TDF's losses and ENDF's gains in the past few days is new Turkish and Chinese drones. These drones change the entire battlefield situation. Now it seems that the US envoy to the Horn of Africa, Jeffrey Feltman, is being sent to Turkey and the UAE. He wants to send a message that the two countries must not be part of this war. To back hostilities, obviously the countries can be part of a peaceful solution to this conflict, but a message is being sent, is going to be sent by the US to these countries, and they should not be part of arming Ethiopian government. Why is he going to Egypt, viewers? Because Egypt is not supporting Ethiopian government. Egypt is not part of this conflict actively so far. Well, Egypt could be part of this conflict in coming days. Western Tigray could become a new front. In a separate video, I'll brief you about Western Tigray, where things are starting to happen. If Western Tigray becomes a new front, we could see involvement of some elements from Sudan and Egypt. That is why perhaps Jeffrey Feltman is visiting Egypt too. Then Egypt-Ethiopia relations have been very strained regarding Grand Ethiopia and so on them. So we'll see what happens. We'll try to update you about Feltman's visit of the UAE, Turkey and Egypt. How will these countries respond to this Jeffrey Feltman's visit that you may have seen? Though it's not official statement of the US that Jeffrey Feltman is going there to stop the flow of arms to Ethiopian government. Official statement is that Feltman is going there to tell these countries that diplomacy is the only solution and they should back diplomatic effort. But we know that the real objective of this visit is to stop these countries, the UAE and Turkey, from arming Ethiopian government. So we'll update you about that after the visit. Secondly, viewers, I have been updating you about aid warehouses in Cambodia looted. I told you that TDF fighters and locals both were involved in looting the warehouses. We got confirmation a few hours ago. UN Humanitarian spokesperson in a press briefing mentioned that both locals and TDF fighters were involved in looting large quantities of aid stored in aid warehouses in Cambodia. Secondly, viewers, he said that at least 3 trucks of WFP, World Food Program, were taken by force by Ethiopian government forces too in Amhara region. So all parties, Tigray fighters, Ethiopian army, locals, all are involved in looting aid supplies. Whoever is in a position to take aid by force, they are doing it. All parties are to be blamed for that. Watch three video clips, viewers. First video clip is US State Department spokesperson's briefing about Feltman's visit of UAE, Turkey, and Egypt. And then two video clips are from the briefing of UN humanitarian spokesperson about aid looted in Cambodia and other parts of Amhara by all parties to this conflict. Thank you for watching.
Special Envoy Feltman will depart tomorrow for the UAE, for Turkey, as well as Egypt, and he'll meet with counterparts there to discuss what it is that the international community seeks when it comes to Ethiopia. And that is chiefly a negotiated resolution to the conflict, because we know that that conflict threatens the peace and security in the Horn of Africa. We've said before that there's no military solution to the conflict in Ethiopia. Our goal in all of this, and this is the goal that Special Envoy Feltman is leaving to pursue, is to support diplomacy as the first, last, and the only option to achieve a cessation of hostilities. As the only option to end the human rights abuses that have been ongoing, and to engage the parties so that they in turn engage in negotiations without preconditions.
Also yesterday and today, 3 WFP trucks used for humanitarian operations in Amhara have been commandeered by military personnel and used for their own purposes. We strongly condemn all of these incidents and reiterate our call to all parties to the conflict to respect and protect humanitarian relief personnel and objects in line with their obligations under international humanitarian law. It is prohibited to attack, to destroy, or misappropriate or loot relief supplies, installations, materials, units, or in Ethiopia, our humanitarian colleagues tell us that a large quantity of humanitarian food supplies, including nutritional items for malnourished children, have been stolen and looted in the town of Kombolcha in the Amhara region. The small-scale theft of food escalated into mass looting of warehouses across Kombolcha in recent days, reportedly by elements of the Tigrayan forces and some members of the local population. The exact amount of food taken is still being determined, but what is clear is that these incidents will further worsen malnutrition and prolong food insecurity in northern Ethiopia. An estimated 9.4 million people across Tigray, Amhara, and Afar are now in critical need of food assistance. The World Food Program teams on the ground were not able to prevent the looting in the face of extreme intimidation, including staff being held at gunpoint. As a result, WFP has suspended food distributions in the town of Desi and Kombolcha. Such harassment of humanitarian staff by armed forces is unacceptable. It undermines the ability of the United Nations and all of our humanitarian partners to deliver assistance when it is most needed, particularly as aid workers face growing access challenges.